Hello everyone, welcome back to Time Out. This is Dee. So today we're going to be talking about sociopaths that are secretly gay and how they can ruin your life. So like there are different components to this video right now. So there's actually talking about being a sociopath, and there's talking about being gay, but we'll get to each and every one of them one after the other. And today I actually have a case study, and well, it's my friend, and I'm going to be breaking down her own situation. And trust me, because before I posted this video, I actually sent it to her and she gave approval for it. So anyway, so we're going to be breaking down her situation as well, or I'm going to be discussing her situation, and I got approval for that as well. So like I said, today we're going to be talking about sociopaths that are secretly gay and how they can ruin your life. Like, if this thing is so popular, right, that there's so many people like that. And like I said, I'm going to be breaking down one of the many situations I know or have heard about. Not that I know personally most of the time. Sometimes it's just from some, you know, this, because I mean, there's certain parts of the world where psychoanalyzing people is not such a big deal, but it's not very popular, but it should be, really, because sometimes even when we go through like bad breakups or whatever it is, you know, in most Western countries they would go to like a shrink to talk about it, like like emotional healing and stuff. But in some other parts of the world, everybody just believes like, oh, I'm so strong, you know, and we don't really place much importance on our mental health. And it's absolutely, I mean, speaking to I mean, like I said, I'm going to be discussing somebody's situation, and speaking to her about it, it's just really so, it's just so horrible, and how it just highlights how a lot of people don't understand or don't place a lot of emphasis on people's psyche or their well-being. So anyway, let's get into it very quickly, and yeah, so let's get into it. So, you know, when people hear the term like sociopath or psychopath, you know, everybody thinks like it's so far-fetched, like, okay, I'm not going to ever meet that sort of person in my life. Well, trust me, you have like a sociopath, maybe not so much a psychopath. You know, the difference is that psychopaths are like totally cold, but there are a lot of them. I mean, we watch all these crime thingies on TV, right? So but one in every like maybe 30-40 people you would have like a sociopath. So like literally, I mean, it might not be diagnosed, but does not mean they're not. But anyway, let's quickly get through it. So first of all, we have to understand something about sociopaths, is that they're social creatures. They're not like some kind of scary beings you see anywhere. So that's why a lot of people just think, yeah, I don't know anybody like that, or I'm never going to meet anybody like that. So anyway, so these people are social creatures. They're very charming. Like, if you meet a sociopath, they're like, you know, looking, they like the picture perfect. Do you understand? They absolutely love picture perfect. So you meet a sociopath and they're like, you know, really they like the perfect clothing, the perfect designers, maybe not designer, but you know, they like to look very good. I mean, there's nothing wrong in looking good. I like that. I mean, a lot of people dress the way you want to be addressed, right? Yeah. So they like the good stuff. Do you understand? They like the picture perfect. So most of the time, a sociopath, especially, you know, now let's not go yet into being secretly gay. We'll get to that point. They like picture perfect, so they're most likely to marry like the girl that everybody wants, have the home that everybody wants, drive the car that everybody wants. So they're like that. They like the picture perfect. Do you understand? So they like everybody to see them as, oh wow, especially, you know. So yeah, so they're very social, very friendly. You know, they like the good stuff. You'd generally have fun with them. So so they're difficult to spot, you know. So let's just go through some of the things to look out for, especially when trying to spot a sociopath. And well, if you do know, well, if somebody has about, I mean, at least 5 of this, because sometimes people display things like this off and on, and it doesn't mean they're sociopaths. It's just if somebody has displayed at least 5 of this, during your relationship with them, you know, then over time, and this would have to be displayed over time, so then you know that you're probably dealing with an undiagnosed sociopath, you know. So anyway, okay, so first of all, how do you identify sociopaths? So these people, they do not, and I apologize, I'm going to be looking at my I'm going to be looking at my phone quite a bit as well. So like I said, I need to gather my thoughts most of the time. So and every time I face the camera head on, it gets a bit difficult for me, so bear with me 1 second. So anyway, so these people do not respect social norms. They consistently break the law. For instance, like, you get to a traffic light and it's on red. Everybody knows that on red you should literally stop, right? No, they would literally probably just go past and give an excuse why they could not just stop. There was no point, or they could have just gone. So they're consistently breaking. They have zero respect for laws, really. Even when they do, I mean, it's because they've been put in a tight corner or something, you know. So anyway, so these are people that they lie a lot. Keep in mind, most of I mean, sociopathy is like an antisocial personality disorder. It's called an ASPD. So I mean, yeah, a lot of like so is psychopathy. So is well, narcissism falls into like a bit of that, a bit of spirituality and all that. But I mean, one thing they do have in common is pathological lying. So pathological liars, so they lie a lot. So this is somebody that would lie a lot, deceive others a lot, use a lot of false identities. So you would generally see maybe like a lady that would give this person a different name, different identity, different date of birth, different, will give another person different this, different that. Or a guy, for instance, maybe like has like millions of babes or whatever it is, and gives this one different name, different identity, different, yeah. So they will do stuff like that a lot, you understand, with no real remorse, and they would be able to keep up to date with all those identities. Anyway, so these are people that they won't generally make a lot of long-term plans. They are quite impulsive. They do things without thinking. I won't say impulsive because I'm quite impulsive as well. Like, I can say to myself, I'm not going anywhere all day, and something will just happen and I'll get up and be out all night, oh, whatever it is, or, you know, yeah, or be out all day or whatever it is, or go to a party till morning when I wasn't even planning to leave the house, like literally. So exactly, so it might not be a party, but whatever it is, I might be planning not to go and just decide like a minute to the time that, okay, fine, I'm just gonna go. So I can be quite impulsive like that, you know. So but this sort of people, they do stuff, they don't really think about it, they don't think about the consequences very much of things they do. So yeah, so they show aggressive behaviors towards others. They're constantly getting into fights or something, constantly, maybe physical fights or whatever it is. They're constantly getting into fights with others. They're constantly, you know, fighting everybody. They constantly have a problem with everybody. Like I said, don't get it wrong, like other people have this behaviors as well. It's just over time, at least 5 of them over time, consistent over time as well. Yeah, so these are people that do not consider their own safety very much. I mean, this is somebody that would probably travel on a highway that is not very smooth, is probably very close to the waters, on a power bike or something, driving at top speed without even being like a professional driver or whatever it is. So this, yeah, that sort of person. Anyway, so yeah, so these are people that they don't take professional responsibilities very seriously. They probably get to work very late. They're consistently late for meetings, consistently. I mean, like I said, other people do this stuff too. Like I get late to meetings quite late sometimes, you know. So because I keep telling myself, oh, it'll be fine, and it's usually traffic. It's not my getting ready time. My getting ready time, I have it in my head, but it's usually traffic or something. So yeah, I never really seem to always factor traffic into it. So anyway, so these people consistently get to work late, get to without a lot of remorse. Please keep in mind, a sociopath is somebody that does not really have feelings. They don't understand other people's feelings. They don't have remorse very much. I mean, they would do stuff, maybe not to necessarily harm other people, but you know, can put them in harm's way kind of thing. Do you understand? They would generally just hurt somebody without thinking about it very much. Anyway, yeah, so like that. So anyway, I was just even saying it. So this is another point, is that somebody that does not feel a lot of guilt or remorse. Like I said, they won't necessarily harm others, but they can actually put them in harm's way quite a bit, you know. So yeah, anyway, so that's those are like the main things that to look out for. Like I said, at least 5 of them. Other ways of spotting a sociopath would be they're usually very cold. Like, I mean, there was somebody I met once, I mean, and just a friend really, but there was something I spotted about him. I mean, this person is like everything I just described, like totally almost perfect, highly intelligent. I mean, the way I used to like a guy like when I say I like somebody, yeah, so he was like the picture perfect. I used to like the picture perfect kind of people, you know, used to, long time ago, long time ago. So anyway, so he was like the picture perfect guy. I mean, now the antidote to most of these things most of the time is like to totally love yourself. When you understand who you are and you totally love yourself, you're less likely to end up in friendships or relationship, except their family. Do you understand? And even then, you don't have to be around somebody that, you know, that is not good for that does not serve your higher purpose, you know, in your life, that does not serve a good purpose in your life, you know, so you can avoid that person. So I mean, the antidote to all those things is literally loving yourself. When you do love yourself and understand who you are as a person, like I said, the Rico Suave thing used to be my thing, you know. I like the picture perfect thing. I like the highly intelligent, and I liked that. Now I realize that what I really want is the wisdom. Yes, when you're wise, you're most likely almost quite intelligent as well, because obviously wisdom comes with experience, and that means you know a lot, you know. So what I wanted was the wisdom. Now I used to like the you know, be all together, chivalry kind of. Now I just realize, just be yourself. Do you understand? Like, it's just a lot more interesting when somebody is absolutely and authentically themselves. So anyway, let's just get back into this. So yeah, so like I was saying, there was somebody I knew once. So one thing about him was he was perfect, charming, everything always looked good, always looked perfect, always looked this. But he smiled a lot, and you know, it was one of those brilliant smiles, like, oh hi. But the truth is, if you pay attention, it never really gets to his eyes. Like, his eyes were like dead cold, like, you know, and he was just but there was something cold about his eyes. Like, but if you're not paying attention, you think, oh my god, this person is like the perfect person ever. No, but that wasn't it. There was just something so strange and cold about his eyes. It was like really horrible. So anyway, this will be somebody that uses like humor and you know, intelligence and all those things to manipulate other people to, yeah. So the person would laugh about, oh my god, you're like, oh wow, you're so great, oh my god, and you know how you're so generous, you're such a, oh my god, you're this, you're that, you know, there's no way I'll call you for this and you don't answer me, you're a big this, that, you're you know, would just use humor and stuff to manipulate. I mean, everybody does it once in a while, but I'm saying like this would be inclusive of the other characteristics all the time. Anyway, this is somebody that would have a bit of a sense of, not a bit, would have a sense of superiority, almost like the narcissist has like a grandiose, thinks they're better than other people. Like, you know, when other people are doing something good, they will not acknowledge it. Next thing they'll do is, oh yeah, it's nice, and they'll tell other people, oh, Mike, please, did you see mine? It's actually better than, I mean, first of all, acknowledge that person or congratulate them or whatever it is. No, this ones would not. No. Instead, they will tell other people, oh, I can do mine actually tastes better. Mine looks better than than that. Mine is, and all that. Anyway, these are people that are unable to keep very positive friendships. I mean, because they're fake, like attracts like, right? Except it's like a narcissist empath kind of situation. But otherwise, like attracts like. So most of the time, and the only reason why even the empath narcissist situation would happen is because the empath does not love themselves. Do you understand? That's the only way they would end up with a narcissist. Exactly. So normally it shouldn't even happen, because normally like attracts like. Yes, opposites attract, but yeah, like attracts like. So I mean, so the friendships are coming to their lives, so they can't keep like very positive friendships, because obviously they're fake towards them anyway, so they would normally attract fake people. So so they would control others by threatening them. They can try to what's this thing called? I'm trying to think of the word. So yeah, they will threaten them. Oh, like, if you do this, I'll do this. Like, if you leave me, I will tell everybody that you're this or you're that or you're whatever it is. So they would normally do stuff like that. So they'll get into, they'll perform, they find performing criminal stuff like quite easy. Like, okay, I mean, let's just say, for instance, like, you're with a group of friends and somebody's broke, and you guys are talking about being broke, and one of them is constantly, I mean, all he thinks about is, okay, so we can just get people's cards and credit cards and get their money, and this constantly. They're very comfortable performing like criminal acts, very, very comfortable. I'm not talking about your regular thief here. I'm talking about your regular very together person, or together looking person, picture perfect person. But the ideas that, so it's a bit weird when the ideas that come to their head is like something of criminal activity all the time. They find it very easy, or they would normally have like lots and lots of court cases or whatever it is. So these are people that would normally threaten suicide. Oh, I'll kill myself. Oh, I'll kill myself. They don't do it. They never do it. But they constantly threaten it. Oh, I'll do this to myself. Oh, I'll hurt myself. I'll cut myself. I'll do this. But they never really do it. So most of the time, these people will suffer with addictions. Most of the time when I hear about sociopaths, you normally hear about addictions. So yeah, they would normally suffer from addictions, like maybe drugs or alcohol or whatever it is. Yeah, they'll normally have quite a bit of addictions. So now we understand what sociopath is. So now, a sociopath that is gay, being with that sort of person would be difficult enough, but being with that sort of person who is secretly gay, and you see, unfortunately, most of the time you will find that I don't know if I'm reaching here, but a good 60% of the narcissist, sociopath, psychopath thingy, you'd normally find out that most of the time they can be secretly gay. Now, keep in mind, please, I do not have any issues with people's sexual orientation. I mean, if that's what you want, that's what you want. That's what you want to choose. That's what you want to choose. It's entirely up to you. But I mean, if you're going to be with a partner of the opposite sex, the least you could do is like let them in on it, but because the sociopath likes the picture perfect look, they would now lie about it, and the whole thing will be on the partner, so to speak, because they won't even tell the partner. So, but they would constantly do stuff to make the person feel like it's their fault, that the intimacy in the marriage is not that great. They'll constantly do stuff, just to make the other person feel like it's something wrong with them and not the fact that, they're gay. So, I mean, so that's like, so let me get into, I mean, like I said, I have no issues. For me, the way I explain this thing is it's not the sin. It's not the sinner. It's the sin. So the sinner, the person, is not. See, like I said, if the person is a good person, that counts above so many things for me. Like, and again, it's the sin. I may not be in tune with the act or the sin, but the person is not my problem. I hope people understand these things, because it's energy. If people understand energy, they would understand somebody being maybe gay or straight or bisexual. The thing with it is, for a woman normally, we all have masculine and feminine energies in us, all of us. Now, sometimes these things are like so deep and there's like so many explanations, so it's quite kind of hard. I'm trying to pick like the easiest one that I can explain. So we all have male and female energies in us. Now, a woman that is a distorted woman, a woman that would do certain things like gossip, lies, backbite, all the negative things, is acting in masculine energy. That's a distorted woman. So her masculine energy is, that's why she's like go, because masculine energy normally is the action. So a lot of business women, you find out that when they're in the work front, they're usually acting in their masculine energy. They're just like go, do. Then maybe when they get back home, they're more feminine and everything, So feminine energy is the receives, not does. So if feminine energy receives, they're more calmer, they're more recipient, a feminine energy, but masculine energy goes, like that. So anyway, so a woman that is aggressive and all those things and nasty and this and that is normally operating in her masculine energy. That's why it's not balanced. A man that does pretty much the same thing, because you see men like hate on other men, try to bring them down, tear them down, backbite, gossip, is operating in their feminine energy, and that's why they're distorted. Now, for somebody to be either gay or bisexual, which means a woman has a heightened masculine energy in her, that way, because it's so heightened that now she has testosterone in her, she's attracted to other women of the same sex. Same way a masculine that has heightened feminine energy now has a bit too much estrogen in them, so they can be attracted to people of the same sex. Like I said, for me, it's not the sinner, it's the sin. I may not subscribe to certain things, but the person is not my issue. I have worked with everybody, and do you understand? I have no issues with the person. The act may not be something I personally subscribe to, does not mean I'm dealing with a wicked person or a bad person or an evil person. No, I'm not. I'm dealing with a human being just like myself, with maybe a heightened male or female energy. So that's what it is. Anyway, however, when these things are hidden for personal gain or to manipulate somebody, somebody else, for their own personal gain, is where the problem comes in. So like someone that is a sociopath would generally just lie about, I'm not saying they're the only ones that lie. I mean, a lot of people don't want to come out to their families or whatever it is. So yeah, people would not tell people for different reasons. What I'm saying is actually being in an intimate relationship with the opposite sex, knowing secretly that the person is gay. So now let me go into my friend's situation very quickly. So she met this guy, like picture perfect. He was everything, like the dream guy. Had like the perfect job. Like he worked, so anyway, they lived apart, they lived in two very different countries. So anyway, so he had gotten a job in another country, well-paying job. Like, okay, this is somebody that he's doing very well, very well, whatever country he was in, and she's also doing extremely well in her country, so anyway, so he had gotten another job and then talked her into, okay, yeah, like you can move to this country, move here with me. I mean, this job is enough to sustain the both of us, even if you don't get a job in like a year or whatever it is, it's enough to sustain us for now, blah blah blah. So I mean, she had moved to a whole new country for this dude, right? So she moved to another country and they lived together for a bit, so they settled down, but she hadn't gotten a job. Anyway, she got pregnant. Sorry, yeah, I think I'm mixing it up. I'm sorry. So anyway, they got married, and I mean, it was all picture perfect and everything. So they got married and whatnot in this new place. Now keep in mind, she has nobody, so she was all alone in this new country or whatever it is. So After they got married, 2 weeks into the marriage, she realized that he already had like a whole new relationship that he was nursing on the side. I mean, they had really truly just gotten to this new country, right? But he already had like this whole new relationship, was nursing and everything. So she found out like 2 weeks into the marriage, they're not even gone on honeymoon. So anyway, so that went aside. So after a while, I mean, he's like 2 months into the marriage, everything changed. His attitude changed. And then he started bugging her like, oh, you know, you're not contributing, you're not doing this, you're not doing. And she's like, okay, I'm living in like a whole new country. I'm still trying to find my way around, even at least understand some of the language enough for me to get a job, you know. So you know, he was already, so his attitude changed. And something she spotted was that even with the attitude change, there was no more intimacy in the, so I mean, maybe they enjoyed sex for like the first 6 months of the marriage, and after that there was nothing again, literally nothing. Like, but every time she brought it up, he would, initially it started off with, it was how she didn't have a job, you know, and he was under pressure, this they were living a good life, he would need a bit of contribution. So she ran, did everything she could do, got a job. As soon as she got a job, oh, she's working too hard, blah blah blah, and she doesn't have time for him, and she doesn't have this, so it's no longer okay. So she tried to tone down her job and then continue again and keep working, and then he started to body shame. Oh, you when I met you were a size 8, now you're a size 12, blah, blah, blah. And then she started to work out at the gym. It was never ending, and this guy tormented her. Like, they would constantly argue, because I mean, they were together for almost 3 years, and the intimacy stopped right like 6 months into the marriage, and she didn't want to go and have a relationship outside her marriage, right? So she kept trying, she kept working, and then she would argue with him, she would fight with him, and he would leave and all sorts of things. But she didn't understand what was going on. Like, literally, this guy was so crazy. Like, she knew where he was all the time. So it wasn't even about cheating or whatever it is. She knew where he was all the time. Oh, if anybody came to the house and asked after him, oh, she knew exactly where he was. All she had to do was look at the time. So she never really had the, well, apart from the first one, she caught him like 2 weeks into the marriage, she never really had the cheating issue per se. But something was clearly wrong, because there was no intimacy. He would not touch her, but every time he made her feel like it was her and she was doing something wrong, and she kept working at it. It got to the point where she now got pregnant, like, yeah, 6 months into, so I think after a lot of arguments, like a year into the marriage, a year after the first 6 months, at some point they got together. Okay, by then people were already asking like, okay, what's going on, are you guys going to have kids or whatever it is? So by then, you know, people were getting involved. So I think he must have had sex with her maybe once or whatever to shut people up or whatever it is, and she got pregnant. So she didn't know for about 3 months, you know, that she was pregnant. And then like 3 months into the pregnancy, maybe 2.5 months or whatever, so she goes to the hospital, finds out she's pregnant, and then she told him. So she calls him on the phone and she told him she was pregnant. That same evening, he announced a separation between the both of them. And truth be told, she never really knew. I mean, it was obvious. Everything about him was sociopathy. He was a sociopath, true and true. But she never really knew he was gay. So after the separation, I mean, people now started to talk. So a lot of people started to talk, and then some of our friends now started to say, oh, so you didn't know? Oh my God, yes, it's a secret. But I mean, come on, all you had to do was, I mean, I heard that he's doing this, is seeing that person, he's seeing this person. So I mean, it can really be bad. So now you have a single mother that's had to move back from a different country, with no job. I mean, literally ruined everything for her. Literally, because obviously after the separation, she's had to get a divorce. But this guy only went into a whole marriage to shut people up, like literally not make people suspicious of the fact that he's actually gay. So anyway, I have to go now. I'm way past time. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful week ahead. Namaste.